What's up, YouTube people? It is I, the grateful recovering addict, bringing to you another segment of Hypodermically Speaking, Confessions of a True Spoon Cooker. It's exactly 1 year and a day since I got clean and sober. It's exactly 1 year and a day since I last picked up, used anything. That includes alcohol and all drugs. I haven't taken a vacation. I haven't lapsed. I haven't relapsed. I haven't messed around with anything else that they have. It's been 1 year I've been clean and sober, that I was able to abstain from all mind and mood altering substances. The biggest problem I have now, I would say, is smoking, cigarettes, and energy drinks. If I can cut those two out, I'll be doing a lot better for my body, basically. I want to tell you, basically, some of my story today. I'm 31 years old. I'll be 32 in a few months. I started out like many people probably did. Majority of people did. I was a kid, you smoke weed. First you smoke cigarettes, then you smoke weed, then you drink a little bit. So when I was living in New York, I would hang out on the weekend, we'd play ball, then we'd smoke a blunt, drink a few beers, Heineken or Beck's. And, at the time we thought that, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think I would ever grow up to be where I'm at and have a problem. High school, more weed, drinking too, more or less the same. But then that's when I got introduced to prescription medication in high school. Like Vicodin, Percocet, Xanax, the footballs and the sticks. In college, well, see, I lived in New York. Then we moved to Jersey, my family, right? I only seen heroin in movies, basically. I knew what it was, but I've never seen it in front of me. So we moved to Jersey, and how I got introduced to it was, we were hanging out a lot at this Pizza Hut where this girl worked. It was like the hangout spot, basically. Sometimes we get free pizzas, whatever. But there's a lot of us that would hang out. We bring the gearheads would bring their cars, the souped up cars, to the Supras, the Mustangs, the whatever, the Oldsmobiles, whatever they had, right? The Subarus. But it was there where I was offered a bag of dope. I'm like, what is this? They're like, try it, you like it. I tried it, and yeah, I liked it. It was, at that time, it was what I felt like what I was missing out on. I felt like it was the greatest thing ever. I did sniffed it, and I liked it, I enjoyed it. That was back in 08 or 09. I think maybe somewhere between 08 and 09. Maybe it was that summer. Summer of 08. And since then, it progressed, It didn't get bad until the last couple of years, where I would start basically not sniffing it anymore. I was going in another way. And everything just, if things weren't bad before, now they got worse, I would call out more from work. I would spend more time in Newark, go and get what I need. I'll be going to Newark 2-3 times a day to get what I needed. I would do, at the worst of my addiction, at the height, at the peak of it, I was doing, while it was still heroin, not fentanyl yet, I would do 10 shots in one, 10 bags in one shot. I overdosed. I can count 8 times, if not more. Those 8 times I had to be resuscitated. And guaranteed a handful of times where I woke up on my own, And it was insanity. I didn't realize it at the time. I thought all I cared about was the drug, And when I messed up, I didn't save a few bags for the next day, or I was running low on cash, I would drink. I was to go to the liquor store just to get through. I would have to have a couple of drinks in me just so I could get to pick up, So at the end, this is what drugs took from me. It took my money, took life, mine. I lost my girlfriend, she overdosed. My family wouldn't talk to me, nobody trusted me. I had dozens of arrests. You know, 2019 was the worst year for me. I got my second DUI. I was on my way to see my girl, and I got stopped before that could happen. I just actually left her place to go to my place, and then I was going back to her place. So, like, that's the insanity of it. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I was doing probably like 100 miles an hour on the parkway. You know, the good thing the cops caught me, because otherwise I probably would have hurt myself or others. You know, I could have killed somebody the way I was living. You know, so I'm grateful I'm here now. I feel though as I've wasted the last 10, 15 years, because that's all I would do. I would drink and drug. You know, it went from alcohol and weed to, you know, opiates, heroin, fentanyl. You know, fentanyl was the worst of them all, because at least with dope, you know what you're getting if it's dope. Fentanyl doesn't last very long. Yeah, it's stronger, but you need more of it each time you do it. And I will go through like a bundle, you know, as soon as I would get it, 10 shots, 10 bags in one shot. And 3 hours, 4 hours later, I'd be already starting to feel sick from it. And I would need to get more. So I would be going 2, 3 times a day to get shit. You know, be bricks, bundles, sleeves, be all that. And then like I didn't start smoking crack until after my girl died. Because at that point, I was already like, you know, I lost her, got my DUI. It was just the whole perfect storm of events. And the way I was living, I wasn't thinking straight. So I didn't feel like I had anything left to live for. I lost my best friend, my girl. You know, like anytime something good would happen to me, even now, she's the first person I want to call, text. I can't see her. She's not here, so it's fucked up. You know, but I tried taking my own life. I had my mom walking on me, so she had to see that. That was not a good thing. Feel bad for that, you know. If I had done that, you know, I leave behind a family, it would be, I can't do that to them, you know. I can't be selfish like that, take my life, you know. So this whole time, this whole year, being clean and sober, has given me a lot of time to reflect. You know, I wasn't raised this way to do this kind of stuff. I come from a good family, good people raised me. I went to school, I got good grades. You know, there's really no reason for me to start dabbling in stuff other than, I guess, boredom or just curiosity. And that almost led to me being killed. You know, I know a lot of people that died from this. You know, like, other than my girl, I have numerous friends that just overdosed, and that was the end of them. That's the end of their story. You know, they're gone, they're dead. I've been to a bunch of funerals, and looking at people in their caskets is not the same. I feel like I see them in the casket, and I'd be thinking in my head, because I was high at the time. This is some kind of joke. This guy's playing a joke. They're gonna jump out of the coffin. But then when you look at them in the coffin, they don't look right. You know, they're the funeral home, the funeral parlor prepares them. They put the embalming fluid or whatever work they do to fix up the body. They don't look real. They look. You know it's them, but they don't look right. So it's sad. It's sad. It's you know, people lose their lives over this stuff. You know, and like what's going on now with I'm hearing on the news that they're gonna decriminalize a lot of drugs. In my opinion, I think that might be a good thing, because you shouldn't have people who are in active addiction going to jail for it. It's really the people pushing the stuff, the dealers, because they're supplying the poison. They're not, you know, it's illegal. They're not pharmacists. They're not licensed. They don't know what they're doing. They step all over that stuff. They mix it with all kinds of stuff. You don't know what you're getting. It begets more violence. But I think decriminalizing the drugs is a good step in the right direction. The study's been conducted in other countries that they've done it, and there's a few other publications and documentaries. I think Rat City is one, and then there's also the study they did in Spain and Canada. They have a few things going on that they can reference, basically. And my whole thing is like, if they legalize it or decriminalize it or make it available, the people who really want it can get it. And it's sad to say, but if they really want that drug, they'll pay that price. You know, kind of like Darwinism will weed people out, the strong survive. And then also now, because they decriminalized it, they offer people a chance. You get caught with something that they will give you a chance to get help. They'll say, we won't, lock you up, but you have to get help. You have to go some kind of program, some kind of treatment. It's the only way out of this, really. And I think that's fair. I wish they had that back when I was doing it. Like, I never got caught for heroin. I got my DUIs for the alcohol, but I remember the last DUI, I had to go to the RDIC program in Paterson, New Jersey. You stay in a facility for 2 days. They do a whole bunch of, re-education, basically, to get you to watch videos. They do quizzes and tests and basically tell you the evils and negative effects of alcohol and substance abuse. So I went in there. I didn't bring anything with me, even though I could have snuck something in, but I didn't want to take that chance. So I went in there, and right before I went in there, I did whatever, shit I had. And you're in there for 2 days. You go in on a Friday, you get out Sunday. And I had a buddy of mine was there too. I didn't expect to see him there, but we both got DUIs around the same time, so we both ended up going to the same program in the same place. But you could ask him. He saw me like all messed up because I was sick. There was another dude in there that had Suboxone, so I was able to get a piece of Suboxone off of him to ease the withdrawal symptoms until I was able to get out and go get my stuff. Because at that time, I wasn't ready to stop. I wasn't ready to, I guess I didn't hit bottom at that point. I did the RDIC thing. They made me go to see a therapist or a counselor after that. I told the guy, I'm like, listen, like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep doing this. I told him everything else I'm telling you guys. And I'm like, I'm not going to, nothing you could do for me. So he's like, all right, nothing I could do for you. That's what he wrote. And then I had court. I had to go to court. No, this was before court, because it was 2019. I caught my DUI. It was my girl's birthday. Her father passed away. Then she passed away. I got the call while I was in court. I was talking to the public defender. My phone kept ringing, so I'm like, listen, I gotta answer this phone. I pick up the phone. Some chicks on the phone's like, is this, my name? And I go, yeah. She's like, well, they found her. She's dead. That's all I got at the time. I found out more as time went on. I actually work at a place right now with somebody that knows about this. It happened in their town, and he filled me in on some more details. I wish I wouldn't know, but it's like closure in a way. They're not good details, but I don't know. I still have to process that. And so I, the RDIC thing, and then the counselor. So it was around October of last year that I went to rehab. I was coming back from PA from over the weekend with my parents. I didn't bring nothing with me because I don't want to have that stuff on me with family. So the whole weekend in PA, I didn't have nothing. I was sick. I drank everything I could find in the house. Made a scene, whatever. It's horrible. Then we come back. I hit up my friend, or somebody I was actively using with. We went down to Newark. By Freeland Heisen, by Seth Boyden Projects. By the McDonald's over there. So he goes and picks up, because he was locked up with those guys in Delaney Hall. He knew all of them, so he could go into the buildings. I didn't know nobody. I wasn't allowed in there. He goes in there, he gets the stuff. We're on our way out, and we get stopped by cops by the McDonald's as we're trying to go under the bridge. They pull him out the car. He got the stuff stashed. They don't find it. They ask him, like, what are you guys doing down here? He lies to them. He goes, oh, we're going to the movies. It's midnight. What movie's going to be open? And the cops say, oh, yeah, what movie are you going to see? He's like, oh, what's playing right now? So what are you really doing down here? Oh, I'm going to the liquor store. It's midnight. Liquor stores are closed. Oh, I went to go see my friend. Yeah, we saw you going to the projects. Like, yeah, I went to go buy some alcohol. Good thing we had some alcohol in the back seat, because kind of would make sense, even though the cop's not stupid. So, he takes some, puts them in cuffs, throws them in the back of the squad car, goes to me. He's like, what are you guys doing down here? Even though I was getting high, I wasn't that stupid. I told him, like, I think you know what we're doing down here. He was like, do you have a problem? Like, I go, I think you know I have a problem. So he's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I think I ought to get help. And he believed me. I think I saved us, because he didn't find nothing. He let my friend go. We got back in the car, and we drove. So we split up whatever we had, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't need to be catching a dope charge on top of everything else and spending time in fucking, Union County Jail or worse. I don't need that shit. This past summer too, like I got going to pick up, I got almost robbed. I got punched in the face. I got almost got jumped. I got away from it. It's not a fun experience going to pick up. You're going to project buildings where I used to go by Spofford, and no, Stratford Place, not Spofford. I went to Stratford Place in Newark by Irving Turner. You go in there, they're going up the stairs to the project buildings. As you're going up, behind you, they're unscrewing light bulbs. There's bullet holes through the glass. It's not good places to go to. And so after we got away with that, I go back. I have my stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. This is no way to live. Like I had that moment. So, and my mom had that moment too. She goes, you can't be doing this, because at that time before that I was a little bit homeless, and then I went. My parents let me stay with them for a little bit, but while I was staying with them, I was doing stuff. So like, you can't stay here, and I was really at the end. I had nowhere else to go after that. So she goes, I spoke to somebody at this place. They told me they'll take you. So if you want to call them and talk to them, if they say they'll take you, I'll drive you. So I did that, talked to them, and she dropped me off. So I was at the rehab in New Jersey, New Hope, Integrated Behaviors, and Marlboro. It's a good place. Shout out to my counselor, Nivi. I went to a halfway house. I was there for 2 weeks. Then she recommended I go to a halfway house in Long Branch. I went to the halfway house. That's another good experience. The Phillips House, halfway house is a good place. Well, at least it was what I was at the time. So I'm there. But that's why my clean day was Thanksgiving. Even though I went back in October to rehab, at the halfway house, I ended up on Thanksgiving. I got one of the requirements is you get a job. So I got a job. I was working construction at Pier Village in Long Branch for Greenfield Construction. And Thanksgiving we had off, obviously, so I was in the house. I chose not to go home because I didn't trust myself to take the train through Newark, and you know what I mean. So I was there. One of the guys in the house I was in rehab with, he's like, let's go walk around. He's been screwing around this whole time. Like he's been whatever, basically saying he wasn't getting high, but I think we all knew he was. So I hang out with them, so I had nothing else to do. I raked all the leaves, so like I really had nothing else to do at the house, like they let you watch TV, whatever. But whatever. We walked around. It was probably a bad idea, but maybe it was a good idea. We went looking for dope in Long Branch. We didn't find no dope. We found some chick walking by. He goes to ask her. She goes, yeah, I'm gonna go pick up some coke right now. So he goes, oh, can you get some for us? Yeah, sure. So we go with her. She go pick some coke from her, whatever. We get some too. We bring it back. Before we bring it back, he goes like, yo, I could cook this. He was from Camden. He's like, I could cook this. I'm like, all right, whatever. I did a little line to make sure it's real. It was all right. We bring it back to the house. So there's a whole bunch of shit fucked up at that. Bring it back to the house. He cooks it. He takes it in the spoon. We got some baking soda. He does whatever, da-da-da. We get stem. And that was my last thing. I did that at the house after I took a blast. I felt instantly like embarrassed, guilty, scared. I was like, fuck this, you keep it. Earlier that day, I had the president of the halfway house telling me, he's like, listen, I'm going to an AA meeting later tonight. Come with me, all right? So I went with him. So I did that. So he was at his little function for Thanksgiving while I was doing that. He came back, I go with him. So we're at the AA meeting. And I'm sitting there paranoid, thinking everybody knows I'm high. But I'm listening. It was a good meeting. And at the end of the meeting, we come back to the house. He starts telling me, he's like, yeah, you're a good dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I smoked some crack today. So I ended up having to sit down with him and the vice president, like, listen, we're not going to tell on you, that's not our place, we're not going to rat you out, but you have to figure out what's best for you. You also got to remember you're in a house full of people in the same situation as you. You don't want them thinking like they can get away with this. So what I did was, I weighed my options. Like, I could not say nothing and get away with it, but who am I going to cheat? Myself only, and they'll know. I could go back into rehab, but I wasn't trying to do that. What I did was I told them myself. I told my counselor and the director of the halfway house what I did, but I didn't tell them the whole story about the coke turned to crack. I'm just like, I did some cocaine. So they drug tested me, which came up negative, so that was good. I don't know how, but that's what happened. And so they had me telling on myself, but they had a negative drug test. They didn't know what to do, so they put me on blackout for 3 days. They took my cell phone away. Blackout means you're not allowed to leave the house. At this time, they were still deciding what to do with me, but they let me stay. So that was very nice. And I was very grateful for that. So my rest of my halfway house experience, like I told on myself, they knew I was about it. I was serious about my recovery. I didn't use anything after that, nothing, you know. Now I'm living in a sober house. I got my 1 year clean at a sober house. I got 1 year clean and sober. I'm living here in Asbury. You know, I got my family talking to me again. I called my girl's mom just to check on her from time to time. I'm working again. I'm saving money. I'm paying off the debts I've accumulated. Life isn't. Life is good. Life is great. Life is not maybe where I want to be, but it's where I need to be, because this keeps it fresh for me, so I don't have to ever go back to that life again. And before I got really heavy into all this stuff, I was very capable guy. I had a lot of abilities. Like a lot of people tell me good things. Like I'm smart. I could do this. And I did a lot of stuff. You know, financially I did very well. You know, I was always good. I had a great life. I was social. I went to parties. I had good jobs. I had good friends. I was more than I could have ever asked for. But I don't know still exactly what it was that made me. I guess it was curiosity, and then once I was hooked, and that was it. And I had to experience this. I had to go through all this I just described to you guys for me to get to this point. Because maybe if I never did any of that stuff, I would be worse off, or who knows. But I have to be grateful. You know, nothing changes if nothing changes, and I have to be appreciative. So that's why I wanted to make this little video today, to let you know that it can be possible. It is possible. You can do it. If you are somewhere in active addiction right now, if you're going through anything I just talked about, whatever it is, alcohol, dope, coke, pills, anything, you can do it. It's not easy to do by yourself. I tried doing it by myself. Didn't work, but there are people that can help you out there. There are good people out there that can help you. But first of all, you have to want to do it. You have to be about it. You have to be serious. You have to be through enough pain. You have to be struggling. You know, you have to hit your bottom for you to want it. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it. If you want it, you can get it. And you have to be strong, both, you know, mentally and physically and emotionally. But in the beginning, you're going to be broken. So you need to give in to get better, to recover, you know. And, you know, life is precious. Life is short. Life is meant to be lived. You're meant to be out here to do things, experience life in a positive way. It's like about being positive. It's about finding a purpose. And there's so many people out there that just squander life. They just, you know, they waste time, wasting precious time. And like, I'm not trying to do that no more. I'm trying to do what's good for me. You know, I'm gonna do everything I can to do it so it's good for me, but I'm not gonna allow anyone or myself to jam me up. If I can help you, great, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to help you if it's gonna hurt me. And I ain't no fool. I ain't gonna enable nobody. I ain't gonna give nobody money. You know, I'm not gonna give people any of my time if I don't see the benefit of it. You know, I have to be very selfish right now. You know, but not selfish like taking my life, but selfish in a positive way where I'm doing what works for me, what's good for me. You know. So that's why I wanted to make this video, just to share that with the people, share with you guys, anybody that's right now in active addiction or active recovery. I just want to share the message, share the hope, be the truth, you know. Like, but who am I? I'm just another guy. I'm nothing special. You know, there's other people that have their story. You know, everybody has their story. I'm just telling you mine. I hope it helps. You know, I just want to stay positive, and I want to keep being serious about it and keep going, see how far I can go with this. I didn't get this far. I didn't come this far just to come this far. And I didn't even expect to make it this far. So every day is a blessing. Time is precious, and I'm gonna continue to stay positive, and you guys do the same. So stay positive, stay tuned. So I'm gonna have more coming out, more to share, and just let you, you know, just keep doing what I've been doing. It's been working for me. So that's all I got. Thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing me to share.